I remember back in 2014 when Eric Gardner lost his life on the streets through a chokehold that he never should have been in the first place. Now, we heard different stories. We know he was breaking up a fight, and the mainstream media ran with him selling loosies out on the street. People do that all over America. No one deserves to die for that reason. It's not really that major of a crime. The worst thing he should have got was a citation, and that's it. It should not have gone beyond that point for selling loosies. But in America, they hold these cops to a god-like status. They can do no wrong when they're dealing with the Black community. The cop is never wrong. The cop never does or say, or none of his actions, including killing, is ever wrong. They are a cheap form of a god on this planet. Cops in America are probably some of the most undisciplined I have ever seen in my life. Children in a kindergarten class got more discipline than these cops do on the streets. And that's really sad to see that in grown men. The police in America conduct themselves like a street gang because that's really what they are. They are a street gang that don't get jailed for killing, don't get jailed for harassing people, don't get jailed for lying on police reports, don't get jailed for virtually anything. Now, it might be one or two that they make an example out of, but for the amount of crime they do out on these streets against the citizens, it should be a lot higher than what we're seeing. But see, you got the judges and prosecutors and the cops all in cahoots with each other. And the Fraternal Order of Police in America is a rich gang. See, they're a gang with money. So they can get cops like Danny Pantaleo out of everything, even murder. It don't matter what it is, even murder. And I think it's safe to say these men take these low-level police jobs because the one thing they want to do is get away with killing us. And they're pulling it off too. Ladies and gentlemen, what the hell are we paying for? Seriously, what are we paying for? Look at the policing we're getting. What the hell are we need to get on the phone and call all of these townships that we're in where police brutality is high and demand that they give us an explanation on what we're paying for, because it looks like we're paying for our own execution out here. And if that's the case, then they should not take any more of our taxpayer money. If this is the best your police departments can do around this country, they don't deserve another dime from the Black community. And I say that also about the teachers. If your white female teachers in all of these Black neighborhoods around the country can't do any better than what we're seeing, you don't deserve one dime of our money. Ladies and gentlemen, we should not be forced to pay for inadequate service. And that's exactly what we get from police officers, inadequate service. Nobody should be expected to pay for that. So, New York City police officer Daniel Pantaleo was never indicted in the illegal choke death of Eric Gardner. Now, that illegal choke hold is still happening. So that tells me right there These cops don't care what they do on the street that's illegal. They don't care. They don't even care about the laws. What makes you think they're going to care about using an illegal chokehold? You got cops out here that don't give a fuck about the law. They carry the law out any way they feel like it. This week, he's facing disciplinary trial that could cost him his job with the force. Ladies and gentlemen, what he's getting is nothing. For a murder, all you get to do is possibly lose your job. For a murder, he's getting off real good as far as I'm concerned. And we have seen police officers, Betty Shelby, leave one police force after murdering someone and getting picked up by another. So even if they let Danny Pantaleo go right now at this moment, there's probably police departments that will call him up by tonight and hire him. So who cares about a disciplinary trial? It's not going to result in the punishment that Danny Pantaleo deserves. Now, I have seen some crazy things out there, y'all, including Danny Pantaleo's attorney is claiming he actually saved Eric Gardner from going through the plate glass window. No, if he's dead, you didn't save him. Okay? His attorney probably came from a family that paid for him to get into college and paid for his degree because that was dumb. So Eric Gardner, at the time, was 43 years old, and he was selling cigarettes. And at the time, he was also breaking up a fight. And then you saw the exchange between him and the officer, and it's because these cops kept bothering him. And just him expressing that landed him in a chokehold in his death. You know, it's just like we're now learning about Pamela Turner, who was shot 5 times, and the cop said she had um, warrants. Okay, you deserve to die because you got warrants? Are you freaking what? I mean, it just seems like they ain't even trying to put no effort into their lives, y'all. It is like they're not even making an effort at all. They just throwing any old flimsy shit out at us now. Because they've gotten comfortable with not ever getting in trouble. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio from NPR.
The disciplinary trial of New York City police officer Daniel Pantaleo begins today. Pantaleo was implicated in the 2014 chokehold death of Eric Garner. A Staten Island grand jury declined to criminally indict him, but the disciplinary trial could result in him being fired. From member station WNYC, Cindy Rodriguez has more. And just a note here, the story contains audio that some might find disturbing.
It's been almost 5 years since a video showed Officer Daniel Pantaleo with his forearm wrapped around the neck of 43-year-old Eric Garner as he tried to arrest him for allegedly selling untaxed cigarettes. As other officers piled on top of Garner, the Staten Island man repeated, "I can't breathe," before he died. Garner's last words became the battle cry of protesters who marched in the streets. Gwen Carr, Garner's mother, has become a vocal activist and has grown frustrated by legal challenges that have threatened to delay the disciplinary trial even further.
We suffered the whole 5 years. This is not just a news story for us. This is our life.
Prosecutors charged Pantaleo with violating the NYPD patrol guide by using a banned chokehold and restricting Garner's breathing, but they'll need to prove the underlying criminal charges of attempted assault and strangulation. The bar is lower than it would be in a criminal court, and they don't have to prove the allegations beyond a reasonable doubt. Attorney Stuart London represents Pantaleo and says he plans to show his client used a maneuver approved by the NYPD.
we will call a force expert who was his instructor at the academy, detailing the seatbelt method, which was approved by the police department that my client was instructed on.
The Officers Police Union says Pantaleo's use of the seatbelt maneuver means he put one arm under Garner's underarm and the other over his shoulder, not his neck. The trial is expected to last 10 days. At the end, a judge will write a report and make a recommendation to the police commissioner, who has the final say on whether to fire Pantaleo or not. Police reform activists complain the process lacks transparency because a controversial state law allows for the findings and the outcome to remain confidential. For NPR News, I'm Cindy Rodriguez in New York.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I watched that video multiple times. He had his arms around Eric Garner's neck. You know, that's another thing that these fake God police officers around here do. When you watch the video, they will tell you one thing and the video will show something entirely different. It doesn't even matter that there's a video camera present, because no matter what's on there, they're going to lie, and they're going to get some judge in a courtroom to go along with the lie and let the officer go. How many times have we seen the videotape? And then even with the Pamela Turner case that's out right now, you have the officer saying a taser was grabbed, but when you watch the footage, you see no taser grabbed. You don't even see him reacting like a normal officer or anybody that would get tased. Now, if you get tased, you're going to react to that taser. How come there was no reaction from this cop in that footage? But he's going to tell us that's what happened. Now you got Danny Pantaleo that's saying, well, I wasn't on his neck. But when you watch the video, you see him on Eric Garner's neck. I mean, then you know what, America, then it's counterproductive to have these videos there. What's the purpose in the video if by the time you go to court, the judge, the jury, and everybody is going against what's on the video? You know, it's almost laughable. But this is what's happening today in America. No matter what's on that videotape, the cop is going to tell you a whole different account than what we see. It never fails. Ladies and gentlemen, just understand the judges are criminals, the cops are criminals, and your prosecutors all criminals. That's why we see them getting away with this kind of stuff over and over and over. They're all criminals at the end of the day. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.